The Jim Carrey Grinch movie is strange, to say the least. It's poorly paced, weirdly edited, and it sure gave me my fair share of nightmares as a kid. But it also has a lot of character, and in certain places, it can even surpass the original. Jim Carrey as a Grinch is easily the highlight of the movie. There has never been a more slimy, devious, Grinchy Grinch than this. Jim Carrey is giving 110% in every scene, and you can really feel how bad and mischievous the Grinch is. Most people agree that Jim Carrey as the Grinch is pretty good, but something a little more divisive is his backstory they gave him. Is the backstory they give him kind of strange and awkward? Yes. Is it unnecessary and does it ruin the pacing? Perhaps. But for what it was, I think it was really well executed. His backstory wasn't simply, the Grinch was a good boy, until he wasn't. He was still a Grinch who didn't like Christmas, just a little more happy and hopeful. Along with this, the humor in the movie is often surprisingly funny. There are plenty of times where I was laughing at the screen because of an exceptionally entertaining joke. I also like how they changed the story so that Cindy Lou Who was also on the sleigh as it was about to fall off the mountain. It was a nice way to add more tension to the scene, and it fits better with the messages of the story. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of the praise stops. And now we should get into the flaws. The cinematography and lighting in this movie are really weird. The camera is seemingly always tilted, or in weird positions, making it hard to ground yourself in a location. And there are also some really strange lighting choices every now and then, making certain places seem awkwardly bright or weirdly colored. Then the editing in this movie is like, whoa, are we focusing on this guy? No, we're focusing on this guy. It's not great, and it can be very confusing trying to figure out where things are taking place, or even who we're supposed to be focusing on. Along with this, the new characters in the movie, while having some funny moments, are ultimately unnecessary, and most likely hurt the story more than they help it. And finally, the costumes and set designs are pretty flawed. All the Who's have very strange makeup and hairstyles, giving them a very uncanny valley feel. And the sets are some of both extremely colorful and extremely gray at the same time, making everything feel off. These two things mixed with the inconsistent lighting, the strange cinematography, and the poor editing, give the movie a very weird and even unsettling feel. But even with this movie's many flaws, I still think the movie's strengths are good enough to keep me coming back to this old film time and time again. And at least the movie's flaws make it more entertaining, which is not something I can say about the Illumination version.